I need everyone to wave for the camera, starting from the side. 1, 2.
Say hi to the camera.
Wave to the camera. Wave to the camera. Wave to the camera. Keep waving. Keep waving.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right. Why don't everyone take their seats? We're going to go ahead and get started. As my classes know, I usually like to start late because I'm usually late, but we'll go ahead and get started on time today. It's only 1:12, so that's early for me. Hi everyone. If you could just shut off your cell phones and other devices, that'd be great. So my name is Anothai Kaewkaen, but everyone calls me Teacher Tai. This semester I'm teaching the reading and writing level 1, or one of those courses. My students say hi. My students raise your hands. Hi. Okay. Last semester, those of you that know me from listening and speaking level 1. If you had me last semester, say hi. Okay, don't be shy. You had me last semester, say hi. All right, cool. So you guys know that, of course, I'm an instructor here at the Lindenwood ESL program. Why don't I go by professor? Why don't I get called professor? It's because technically I don't have my master's yet, so I'm currently a master's student. That's why I'm called instructor, right? So technically, some of you do call me professor, and I admire it, I like it, but technically I am just an instructor right now. I'm currently a graduate student in the writing program. Before I came to Lindenwood, I lived in Bangkok, Thailand for 2 years working for the Ministry of Culture. And here at Lindenwood I do my graduate degree in writing. So some of you may already know this, that outside of class, besides being a teacher, I'm also a freelance writer. And as a writer, I'm really concerned with words and language. And when you have a job like me and you write for a living, you really need to focus on your words and really write in a way that your reader can see, can feel, can understand what you're talking about. That requires using a lot of things called figurative language, namely something we're going to be talking about today called simile and metaphor. Now, if you are in my class currently, you've already had a lesson on simile and metaphor, so I'm going to ask you, if your friends need help, to explain to them, all right? Because I know if you were in my class, you already understand this. But for some of you, this might be rather new, okay? So today the focus of our topic is going to be simile and metaphor, and the title of the lesson is The Raven and the Writing Desk. But before we start our lesson, I want to show you a quick cartoon. Okay, many of you are a little bit young for this. Who recognizes this cartoon? What is it?
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, right? Alice in Wonderland is an old Disney movie from around the 1950s. But it's actually based on a book written by the British author Lewis Carroll back in the 1800s. Now, in this clip, the girl, Alice, you'll see her, she's blonde. So what color is her hair if she's blonde? Yellow, right? Okay. In this clip, this gentleman, this character right here, is going to ask Alice a question. He is going to ask Alice a question. I want you to listen carefully for what question that is. I'm going to ask you what question he asks Alice. Okay? So, take a listen.
See all the trouble you've started?
Really, I didn't think that.
Ah, but that's the point. If you don't think, you shouldn't talk.
Clean cut, clean cut. Move down, move down, move down.
But I still haven't eaten.
Move down.
And now, my dear, as you were saying...
Oh, yes. I was sitting on the riverbank with you know who.
I do.
I mean my C-A-T.
Tea?
Just have a cup if you don't mind.
Come, my dear. Don't you care for tea?
Why, yes, I'm very fond of of tea.
If you don't care for tea, you can at least make polite conversation.
Well, I've been trying to ask you.
I have an excellent idea. Let's change the subject.
Why is a raven like a writing desk?
Riddles? Let me see now. Why is a raven like a writing desk?
I beg your pardon.
Why is a raven like a writing desk?
Why is a what?
Devil, she stark raven mad.
But it's your silly riddle. You just said...
Said it okay, something.
How about a nice cup of tea?
A cup of tea, indeed. Well, I'm sorry, but I just haven't the time.
Okay. Okay. If you want to know what happens, you can read the book yourself. It's Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Okay, so what was the question? The Mad Hatter, or the gentleman with the hat and the white hair? What was the question that he asks Alice? Why what?
Why the writing this or writing this or something like that?
Close, close, close. You're very close. You have one half of it. Who has the other half? Who has the other half? What did the man ask Alice? Why is a what like a writing desk? A what? I heard it. A raven. Why is a raven like a writing desk? Okay, so for those of you that don't know, he asks her, why is a raven like a writing desk? For those of you that don't know, this is a raven. What do you call this kind of animal? A what? A bird, right? A bird. This is a bird, right? A raven is a type of bird. What color is it?
Black.
Black. And then this is, of course, your writing desk, right? So what happens at the writing desk? Writing, exactly. Okay. Just got to test your understanding. So why is a raven like a writing desk is the question that the man asks Alice. So what does the question mean? What is he asking for? What's he asking her to do? What's she asking about the raven and the writing desk? Yep. He's asking, how are they the same? How are they the same? So how are they the same? Okay. Color. How else are they the same?
Maybe because it's a little shimmering. Both are a little shimmering.
Okay, maybe because both of them are a little bit shimmering. Okay, you want to know the real answer? Yeah. There is no real answer. Okay, there is no real answer. The whole point of that question is that it has no answer. It has no answer. So Lewis Carroll, Alice in Wonderland, it's all about strange and ridiculous situations. This question, why is a raven like a writing desk, has no answer. A raven is nothing like a writing desk. Okay. That's why that character, he's called the Mad Hatter or the Crazy Hatter. He's asking for you to compare two things that have nothing alike. But asking for comparisons between two things is something that we often have to do when we're speaking. Different words usually mean different things to different people. So for instance, I consider myself a fast driver. Okay. So fast is an adjective, right? It means to do things quickly. I consider myself a fast driver. If I'm driving 65 miles an hour, I call that fast. But for some people, 65 is not fast at all. I know you all use kilometers. You probably don't know how much 65 miles an hour is, do you? How much is 65 miles an hour? 100. It's about 130. It's about 130. So I consider myself a fast driver if I go 130 kilometers an hour, or about 65 miles. But for some people, that's actually considered slow. So the idea of fast is something that might mean one thing to me, but might mean another thing to you. It's not specific. So we can say things like, oh, I drive as fast as a turtle. We all know a turtle? Yeah. Okay. Or I can say, oh, I drive as fast as a horse. Okay, we all know horse? Okay. Those two things are very different things, right? To drive as fast as a turtle and to drive as fast as a horse mean completely different things. So these are comparisons. These are types of comparisons that make your speaking and your writing clearer. If you tell me you drive fast, how fast? I don't know, because fast for me is 130 kilometers. But fast for some people, how many of you drive faster than that? How many of you drive faster than that? I think in Europe they tend to drive a lot faster, right? Yeah. So for some people, 130 kilometers is not fast. For some people, 170, 200 is fast. Because the word fast means different things, whether I'm saying fast or you're saying fast. Okay? So when you make a comparison, you have an abstraction, right? Fast. I can't see fast. I can't touch fast. Okay? I don't know what fast really means. But I know how fast a turtle goes, very slowly. I know how fast a horse goes, very quickly. So when I make the comparisons between these two different things, I get a better picture of it. Okay, I get a better picture of it. Same thing with words like, for instance, red. Okay, red. There are many different shades of the color red, right? So who here is wearing a shade of red? You're wearing a shade of red? Can you raise your arm? Raise your hand? Okay, just raise your hand. Okay, so this is one shade of red. Can you stand up? This is another shade of red. Lydia in the back is also wearing a shade of red. Right? And here Miley in front. This is almost a shade of red too. You would call it magenta. There's red back there too. If you say red, sometimes I don't know what color red you're talking about. There's so many different shades of red. It can make your writing and your speaking clearer if you talk about red like something else. Red like, what things are red? Red like a? Like blood. Blood red, right? Okay.
Wine red.
Wine red. Okay, wine red. Very good. Red wine. So a color like that is close to red wine. Red stop sign. Red fire. Okay, red like something else. Just like we're making comparison between two different things, here the comparison doesn't make sense. But a lot of times when we make a comparison between two different things, we will actually understand both of them better. So that's what I'd like us to focus on today. That's what I'd like us to focus on today. So I prepared a worksheet that we're going to work through together. And if you guys can help me copy this out. Okay. Perfect. Right, everyone have one? Okay. Are we missing one? I did make 75 copies, so there should be enough for everyone. If you don't have one, go ahead and look off a friend. Go ahead and look off a friend. Thank you. Okay. So today we're talking about making comparisons. We're making comparisons between two things that are not the same, right? So two things that are different or dissimilar. Just like the Mad Hatter asked Alice, okay, how is a raven like a writing desk? We're going to be making comparisons between two things that are not the same. When we make a comparison, between two things that aren't the same. And we use the words like or as. We're using what's called a simile. So everyone say after me, simile. Simile. It sounds like the word similar, right? So a simile tells how two things are similar using the words like or as. So how is a raven like a writing desk? The question means how the two of them are similar. How are they similar? All right? Metaphor. A metaphor is also a comparison between two objects. But metaphors simply say that X is Y. A metaphor simply says, oh, a raven is a writing desk. It suggests that there is something similar, something that's the same between the two things. Now, remember, the most important thing about using metaphor and simile is that you're comparing two different things. If you tell me that a raven is a black bird, that's not a metaphor, because a raven is a black bird. It's the same thing compared to the same thing. But if you tell me that large font. Thanks, Tony.
I thought I can speak.
Better? Okay. Okay. If you tell me that a raven is a black bird, that's not a metaphor. If you tell me that a raven is like a black bird, that's not a simile, because they're the same things getting compared to each other. Okay? So they have to be two different things. Now, if you'll follow along with me on the worksheet where it says, why use similes and metaphors? Why? As I was saying, sometimes different words will mean different things to some people. And I give the example of fast. Well, what does fast mean? Fast can mean 60 miles to me. It can mean 100 miles to you. They mean different things. But fast as a horse, fast as a turtle is more specific. It's clearer. I can understand you better. Okay, so if you look at your worksheet under where it says guided practice, let's do a few of them together. Okay? Let's look at number 1. There's two sentences here. It says, be careful of John. He is a snake. Okay, we all know what animal a snake is? What kind of animal is a snake? Yeah? Just making sure. Right. So is that a metaphor or a simile? Metaphor. It's a metaphor, right? It says, John is a snake. Now here's the question. What does that mean? What does that mean if you say John is a snake? Does it mean he's actually a snake? No. What does it mean? He's dangerous? Okay. Yeah. Is he a person you want to be around with? No. Do you tell your secrets to a snake? No. Okay, so this is a metaphor. It says that John is a snake. Not because he is a snake, but it means he's dangerous. You don't want to tell him your secrets. Do we all know snakes? Yes? Okay. Who knows a snake? Point to a snake in the room. All right, let's look at number 2. The new mattress on my bed is as soft as a cloud. Okay, what metaphor or simile? Simile, right? It uses as. What's being compared here? Mattress and the cloud, right? So we're going to compare two things. So when we're talking about things, we're talking about nouns, right? So soft is not a noun. Soft is an adjective. We're going to compare two nouns. What are the two nouns? The first one is? Mattress. Second one is? Clouds. So I don't need to ask you why the comparison works. It's because we think of clouds, we think of white and fluffy. Okay, so is a mattress soft as a cloud a good or a bad thing? Good. It's a good thing, right? What if I said my mattress is like rock? That's a bad thing, right? See, that makes things completely different. If I said my mattress is as soft as a rock, completely different meaning. Completely different meaning. So that's why using metaphor and simile are so useful, because they help us get at our meaning more closely. To say something is as soft as a rock or as soft as a cloud are completely different things. Let's look at number 3. When my brother fell, he howled like a wolf. It's a simile. It uses like. What kind of animal is a wolf? What kind of animal? It's like a dog. Does he live with you? No. Where does he live? In the forest. Okay. So what's being compared here? Yeah, the way that the brother howled, right? We all know the word howl. Howl is like a loud. I won't do it. I won't do it. Yeah, whoever wants to do. If you know the Shakira song, you know Shakira, She Wolf. Okay, she howls in that song. So if you want to know what a howl is, you can go listen to that song after class. Okay, so Shakira. But howl is a loud sound. So what's being compared here? Yeah, the way the brother howls and the wolf. So is that loud or is that soft?
Loud.
It's loud, right? It's loud. Very good. If you howl like a wolf, you howl loudly. Okay, number 4. My mother is the light of my life. It's a metaphor. What is being compared here? Mother and light. What does it mean if your mother is the light of your life? What is it?
Everything for you.
She's everything for you, right? Maybe she guides your way like a light, right? So my mother is the light of my life. Metaphor. Okay. Number 5, and please never give me a reason to say this. This classroom is a zoo. Okay. What's being compared? What does it mean? Very noisy, right? Do I have good students if my classroom is a zoo? No. Are they fun students?
Different.
Maybe.
Different.
Yep, they're different. They're hard to deal with, right? They don't agree with what you want them to do. They're different, or they're difficult. Okay, very good. So this is our guided practice. Let's move on to the next section. So turn your page. Okay, for this next part of the class, I'm going to give you 5 pairs of objects. And I want you to write a simile between the 2 of them, and then tell me how the 2 objects are alike. Okay. Can you see this? Let me turn the light off. What do we have here? Okay. Do we say a sun or the sun? The sun. Why do we say the sun? There's only one. There's only one sun. Okay, we're not on a different planet. We only have one sun. Okay, so this is the sun. What is this? Orange. Is it the or a orange? An orange. An orange. This is any orange. Okay, so the sun is like an orange. How? Color, shape, not exactly the size, right? But it's the same shape, right? The same shape, okay? So these are 2 objects. They're not the same objects, right? The sun is not an orange. But they have similarities between each other that we can use to compare them in a simile. So we can say that the sun is an orange in the sky. Why does the simile work? Is because even though they're different, they have the same characteristics. Number 1 being their color. Number 2 being their shape. I want to point out that a lot of you have been saying that this is a circle. It's not a circle. Okay? It is round, but a circle is flat. A circle is flat. It's a sphere. Very good. It's a sphere. It's not a circle. A circle is flat. Okay, What do we see up here? Stars. It's a sky, right, with stars? What would the adjective form of stars be? It's the word star, but what do you do to star to make it an adjective?
Shining like a star.
Shining like a star is also a simile. So this is the sky, right? We'll call it a starry sky. So sometimes we can add a Y to nouns, make them adjectives. This is a starry sky. What is this? A mosaic? Okay. That works. So this is a mosaic. How are the two alike? How are they similar? They both, okay, you can say that a mosaic shines. What are other reasons that the starry sky and they're made of small pieces? Okay, very good. Any other reasons? So here again, two completely different things. We have a starry sky and we have a mosaic. Both are made of small pieces. Both have designs on them. So this is another example of comparing two unlike things. Okay, this one is similar to our example before. What are these? Cotton. What do you do with cotton? Clothes. Clothes. You make clothes with cotton, exactly. And then these are? Clouds. How are cotton balls like clouds? Soft, white. How about their shape? Yep. So here again, two different things, but you're able to draw similarities between the two of them. White cotton balls, white clouds, soft cotton, soft clouds. Okay, very good. And I think we have, okay. What would you say is a word for the top picture? War. War, right? War, fighting. Exactly. What do you call this? Fire. How is war like fire? It destroys things. Exactly. So here again, you can make a simile out of it. War is like a fire that destroys things. Okay. Here. Give me a word for this picture. Hands? Okay, what are the hands asking for? They're asking for something, right? They're begging, right? Begging. What does begging mean? Ask for something. Usually when you don't have something, you beg, right? Okay. And if you give to people that don't have something, what do you call that? Charity. Charity, very good. So let's say that the word for this image is charity. Okay. Charity is when you give money or resources to people in need. Okay. What's happening in this picture? They're tulips. What's happening to the tulips? Raining, right? It's raining. So make a simile. How is charity like rain? It gives something. It makes things healthy, right? So, do flowers need rain?
Yes.
Do people need charity? Okay. So once again, we can draw parallels. We can draw parallels. They're two different things, giving money to people and giving rain to flowers. But we can understand, on a symbolic level, they make sense. And this is why understanding metaphor and simile are so important. Not just in English, but the ability to compare two things that are not related